The next topic we wanted to talk about is how to localize an application. There are two important settings for every thread of execution that determine how an application behaves under different cultures. The first setting is exposed by the static current culture property of the thread class. This property tells the runtime how to format strings. For instance, if we do toString on a datetime or toString on a currency, then how should the datetime be formatted and what currency symbol should be used? Is it going to be a euro, a dollar, a rupee, or yen, for example? Another important setting is exposed from the static current UI culture property. This setting impacts how the runtime performs resource loading, which we'll take a look at really soon. You can set these properties with your own code. For example, when you have one of those sites where you let the user select what language they want to see, then that would be a scenario where you set these properties manually. Or you can let ASP.NET set these properties for you. ASP.NET will set the properties based on the accept language HTTP header that the client's browser sends. In order for ASP.NET to do this automatically, though, you have to add a globalization section to your web.config file and set the culture and UI culture attributes to auto. Let's see how these settings impact our site. Inside of the index view, I'm going to remove the code that we have in place here to test out some caching features, and I'm going to just replace it with some inline code that we'll use for globalization features. So let me create two variables. The first will be named amount, and it's going to have the decimal value 10. And the second one will be a date time. I'll just call it then, and it's going to be the year 2002, say July 9th. Then we'll output these values to see how toString behaves. So let's create a div where we output amount toString, and I'm going to pass the formatting string C to say that I want that formatted as a currency. And let's create another div that outputs then using toShort date string would be good. So we'll see how these are influenced when we have different cultures arrive. And I'm going to let ASP.NET automatically pick the culture by saying globalization culture equals auto, UI culture equals auto. And let's save this. I'm going to do a build just to make sure everything's up to date, and then we'll run the application. And you can see from my default culture settings, the date format is month, day, year, and the currency amount was formatted with a $sign. Now let me go into these settings for Internet Explorer. I'm going to go to Internet Options, and under Appearance, click the Languages button. This is where I can add my preferred language. So I'm going to go down and let me pick French. Not the Canadian French, but the French from France. And I'm going to make sure that that is moved up to the top here. That should be the accept language that is sent to the website. I'll do a hard refresh on this home page, and now you can readily see a difference. The decimal amount includes a euro sign, and the date was formatted as day, month, year. And what we've done so far is really just a starting point for localization. We've changed how the data amounts are formatted. But we also need to take care of string literals that we're displaying, like this welcome message. It's still in English. Let's see how we can change the text in this message to match the user's culture.